This is a good a day as any to start the rebuilding of life.
Hi, hello, welcome to my channel, welcome back to my channel. As you can see, we're finally at the new apartment and we're finally at a stage where we can do the fun things. We can start organizing the kitchen. I've been really wanting to scratch the itch, the organizational itch that I have. I'm sure tons of you have it if you're watching this video, but if you have a kitchen to organize, come with me, or if you just enjoy watching these types of videos, same as me, join me as well. I am one of those freaky people who actually enjoy this. I know cleaning and organizing is definitely not for everyone, but for me, it does something to my brain. It's decluttering, it's soothing, it's like therapy. I have already bought a bunch of things on Amazon that will help me maximize the space we have, because we have been living here for a few weeks and I can tell I'm already struggling. Things are just not as functional as they can be. I will link all the kind of systems and containers and jars, any products that I use here. Hopefully I don't forget any. We will start with the pantry. We are a snacking type of family, so for me, I think it was a no-brainer as to let's start with the pantry because we love to grab a snack. I have all of these jars, I will link them down below. These are not new. I have had them and I've been collecting them over a course of, I think, at least 5 years. So what I did is I took everything out of the jars, washed them. They are dishwasher safe, so that's great. One tip that I can give you if you're in the same situation where you already had stuff inside them and you want to get it out, you can use these bags. These are freezer bags. We've never needed to use them. They were just there, but actually came in handy for this. And the best thing is that you can sign them. And I think other than that, enough rambling, let's start organizing. One of the things I found helped me speed up this process was to determine the number of jars I'd need in advance, at least approximate, so that you can start and finish this task in one day. As you can see, this is a bit of a messy process, so prepare to clean up the flour and rice grains quite a bit during and after this. These are the freezer bags I was talking about, very convenient for moving as it takes less space and you know exactly what's in them, as you can sign them and put a date on them if you need to, which also helps to tell very similar contents apart, such as different types of flour or sugar, etc. Here you can see me cutting out the nutritional value section and dates, so I have those for future reference. Just pop these inside the jar. It's always a good idea to do this as you're never going to remember these otherwise. Okay, we have finally finished. This is what we have left. I mean, these are mostly things that we don't need to put in jars. This is just going to go into pantry. There is some teas, sauces, honey, things like that. And then here is how this is looking. So just in terms of general setup of the kitchen, all of it is closed cabinetry except for 2 open shelving areas. And because this kitchen is on the smaller side for us, I cannot use the open units as decorative because I need the shelving for actual function and storage. So what I'm thinking is that shelf is the least user-friendly. It's quite deep and it's quite high up, so we might use it as bar because we wouldn't need to reach that very often. And then here, this is where I was thinking to put this, just because if I have to put something there, this might be the best kind of solution. It's functional, but also a little bit decorative because these jars are really, really pretty. Then here we will have a stove and oven, which we don't yet have. And then there we have got the dishwasher. But in terms of just a functionality triangle, we got a stove, sink, and kitchen. Here it's not a triangle, but this is where the key things are. So what I'm thinking is plates and cups will be here. Then that will be our pantry. There we will have spices because again, this is the closest to where the stove will be. And then there we'll have pots and pans. Unfortunately, we do only have 3 drawers. We'll have cutlery and all the main things here. And then there we've got a bin and chemicals. Here I'm showing my struggles where I had to redo some of the labels. The issue I had here was that the top portion of the type of the jar I had was curved, and I didn't realize that if the label goes over the curved area, I'd have this wrinkling issue. At first, I honestly tried to just iron out the wrinkles by pressing them away with my fingers, then my nails, but it didn't work, I think just due to the type of the label I had, as it was quite thick so it would almost spring back. So in the end I realized it was better to unpeel it and restick it lower down where the surface was fully flat. So what I found worked best was using something thin to lift one of the edges, and for me this handy knife did the job. Just be careful not to cut yourself if you're using the same method. Also, in case you're wondering, the knife did not scratch the glass whatsoever, but I was trying to be extra gentle just in case. I did find that you could reuse these stickers at least twice, as the adhesive on them was quite strong and didn't leave any residue. I also did wipe it with a rag, the kind that you use for glass cleaning, in between attempts to make sure the surface was definitely clean and good to go. Here I also had to remove the old labels I had on some of the jars, because I only had maybe 5 to 8 of these. I got them years ago when my jar collection was much smaller, and so now I didn't have enough of these to use on the rest of my jars. So I went ahead and purchased the new set on Amazon. I'll link it down below. I absolutely love it. It's very clean and minimalistic, just how I like it. Hi guys, good morning. It's the next day. We have had quite a productive day yesterday. We have gone through all the pantry stuff and through anything that was expired, anything that we didn't need, or etc, etc. And we have put all those things that need to be contained to glass jars and containers and labeled. All of that has been done. What else did we do? We have painted one side of the metal shelving inserts I got for, they're not inserts, they're like a mini shelf to be put in the cabinet, just so you can create an extra layer of shelving there. I will show them to you once it's done drying, but we've painted one side of it and then we're going to paint the other side of it today. That's why I will not be able to finish the kitchen today. I will finish it tomorrow, just because I do need those shelving units to be done before I can start putting some stuff inside some of the cabinets. Today, we will focus on the things that we already have all the supplies for. And I'm excited because honestly, I love nothing more than an organized kitchen. So let's start. Because my spice rack is vertical, I also needed to add some labels to the lids. This way it will be more user-friendly, as the spice jars will be sideways when I open the cabinet doors. I didn't do this yesterday as they just got delivered this morning, so I'm quickly sticking them on before getting on with the spice cabinet. I really like this set as they have most of the more typical spices, and they do have some extra empty stickers you can write yourself on as well, in case you don't find the one you're looking for. I will link this set down below if you like it and want to get the same one. Here you can see my spice rack. It is a good vertical solution, especially if you lack the drawers like me, but I'll be honest, I don't absolutely love this particular one, as it is really limiting in terms of the size of the jars you are able to slide in there. I wish they had an option where each row had a different height to it, so all of your different spice jars can fit in there. But I didn't want to buy another one since I already had this one from my previous apartment and could put it to use. Even though it may not be perfect, it will work for now. One more thing to note is that the rack shelves aren't perfectly straight, which honestly could be due to me having used it for a couple of years. But this is the reason you see me arranging the spice jars in a particular way, as I'm trying to slide them in the widest openings, which happen to be right in the middle of the rack for each shelf. Okay, so one of the things I got to organize this cabinet, it's a corner cabinet that we have currently under the microwave. It will be under a coffee machine later. I got this drawer to turn this cabinet that I have into drawers. For me, I will take drawers all day, every day over cabinetry, because you can easier, once it pulls out, you can grab stuff in the back without having to rummage through everything and pull out all the pieces that you've got at the front just to get to something in the back, you know what I mean? I think it's inexpensive, I don't remember the price, but it's a metal drawer insert. Drawer insert might be incorrect, it's a drawer. So how these are attached, you can drill them into your shelf inside the cabinet, but if you're renting just like me, it also comes with this double-sided sticky tape, which we will test. I'm sure it should be sticky enough, but if it doesn't work, you can buy something like Gorilla Tape. This railing kind of just acts acts as a railing, and then you can pull it in and out. So yeah, this is what we have. We're going to test it out. I've never used it, but this seems actually quite good quality. It feels sturdy. The metal is quite thick. One thing I'm worried about, because I am going to put heavy things on here, I'm going to put pots and pans in here, is whether this railing can really hold the weight of the drawer. I think this may bend. My advice is when you glue it, place it deeper into the cabinet, so when you pull it out, instead of the drawer just hanging, let me see if you, like hanging like this outside the cabinet, it will be more inset. There is going to be extra support of the shelf underneath, so this is unlikely to bend then, but it really does depend on what you're going to put in here. For me, I just know that I'm putting something heavy here, so let's start. Do make sure to first clean the shelves, especially if you're going to be using the sticky tape rather than drill, just to make sure that there aren't any dust particles that can affect the grip of the tape. Here you can see me attaching the sticky tape onto the rails. It's fairly straightforward, and after testing it, I can say that this tape is very sticky and has a very good grip, so no need for Gorilla Tape. So then I wanted to test out how wide I could expand the drawer, as of course I wanted to max it out. So I went ahead and placed the drawer inside the cabinet before peeling off the bottom tape. But honestly, after doing it a few times, I realized it didn't actually help, as once you go ahead and take the drawer back out to peel off the tape, the drawer's small expansion section can kind of slide in and out relatively freely whilst you're unpeeling, so your predetermined size will get ruined anyway. So the best approach I found was to just go ahead and unpeel the bottom sticker and then go inside your cabinet and place the drawer slowly from the top like I'm showing here. One important thing to note here is just make sure to never expand these drawers to the maximum width of the inside of your cabinet, as then you're running the risk of it either not sliding out very well because it's too tight on the sides, or not sliding out at all because it's hitting the door hinge. Okay, so we're now onto the chemicals cabinet. I've already been using it for a few weeks, so I've kind of sorted through the things that I need to be here already, so that's great. I did think at first to use it as a bin or just to remove it altogether. It is screwed into the bottom base of this cabinet, but you can unscrew it and remove it. I actually have been using it just as storage for all the chemical bits, and honestly it has been quite handy. So I decided to keep it, and then I have an extra shelving that I can use here on top, so it's almost like a win-win situation. So what I'm thinking to do here is we're going to keep this as it is, and then in this half I actually had something that I didn't have to buy. I had it from the last apartment, is the shelf. I will show you. Yeah, so we literally just had this shelf that I used to use in the kitchen already. To be honest, if I hadn't already had this, I would have probably got one of those organizers on Amazon. I'll pop the image on screen. The one with kind of all the extra compartments with extra shelving, not something like this. This is kind of a bit more basic in terms of what it is, but because I had it, I just didn't want to spend any money to buy something else. So this will work for now, and then if I find over time I need something, you know, a bit more with all the extra wells and bristles, you got what I mean, wells and bristles, that is. We will see how we go. I think if I need it in the future, we will buy it. For now, this will definitely already be better than whatever I have going on here. I contemplated building a divider for this cabinet to split it into two completely separate cabinets to get extra kitchen storage, but then decided I just wasn't comfortable keeping any food adjacent items under the sink so close to all the chemicals, as we've only been here for a short period of time and I can already smell the chemicals whenever I open the cabinet doors. After I finished organizing this cabinet, I actually wasn't fully happy with it, so I came back to it and organized it a bit further by replacing the two cardboard boxes you see here at the bottom with transparent plastic bins from IKEA. I'll link those down below. I also moved all of the bin bags from that narrow space on the left into another spare container I got on Amazon to make it even neater. You will be able to see all of these changes in the final clip at the end of this video. Okay, so this has been our drawer situation. As I mentioned before, I think I did, but we only have 3 drawers in this kitchen, which are these 3. So this is quite tight, but we'll try to make it work. So we have our forks, knives. Then here I want to put all the cooking utensils. and here kitchen towels, foil and things like that. Basically things that I always like to have in the drawers. So that's what we have to work with. And now let's just start organizing.
Even if the sky is falling down.
For this drawer, I had this bamboo organizer, which I got on Amazon years ago, and I've probably now used it in at least 5 different apartments, so this has been quite a tried and tested gadget. The best thing about it is you can adjust the width of it, which makes it fit even narrower drawers, so I found it has worked very well for me over the years. For this second drawer, I'm going to use these dividers I also got off Amazon. These came in a set of, I think, 4 pieces. How you use them is you pull this grey lever out, then place the divider inside your drawer, and then set the length as required. Then you press the lever down to fix the position. Here you see me readjusting as I needed to fit more items in here due to the lack of space in my kitchen. It's a bit cramped, but it will do the work. I'm going to use the same Amazon dividers for this drawer. Initially I was going to use these baskets in here as I'm used to storing my kitchen towels in them, but as you can see they weren't quite fitting in here at all. These dividers actually worked great in the end as I was able to place them sideways here as I just felt it was a better way for the items that I had in here. Welcome to day 3 of our extreme kitchen organization. Today, I declare this is the most visually satisfying day because we will finally see things come to fruition. We will start with what is the priority number 1 space in our kitchen, which is the snack cabinet. This is really what we use every day, multiple times a day. We have 2 cabinets that we're going to use as our pantry because we don't have anywhere else to put it. So we'll have to maximize space. Hopefully what will help me achieve that is the containers and things that I got specifically to organize this drawer and those metal shelves that we have painted over the last 2 days. That will really help us, I think, here. But we live in these cabinets. I mean, my protein bars, cereal, those instant oats, any biscuits, cookies, chocolates, anything like that lives here. So this is my favorite place in the kitchen and I am sure going to give it justice it deserves. So let's start. For these 2 cabinets, I did quite a lot of pre-planning in terms of the types and number of containers I would need to make sure everything we normally have was going to fit in here. Since we are huge fans of snackable foods, this cabinet tends to get full and therefore messy very quickly if there isn't enough space for all of the items to go. I got this container specifically for tea. I love my tea. Ideally, I wanted to find something like this, but with a little drawer pull-out. But I couldn't find anything like that on Amazon for good price, so decided to get this one. It comes in a pack of 2 and so far has actually been working out great. I also got 3 of these Lazy Susans. These are especially convenient for storage of jarred sauces or canned goods, as at least in my case, these are the things you normally don't know you have a lot of and you keep buying more until you're left with, let's say, 6 cans of baked beans. I also got a variation of these rectangular containers in different sizes. Some are taller, some are wider, some are narrow. This will allow me to store different sized items very neatly without them falling over, and I also will be able to see everything very clearly whenever I open the cabinet. For the pantry cabinet, I ordered these wide shelves in different sizes, and even though they were the same brand, I believe, they were quite different in color. The smaller size shelves were so cool in tone that it was honestly closer to baby blue than to white. I really liked the warm tone of the larger shelves, so I decided to get some spray paint to get the smaller ones to match. I wasn't particularly concerned with a 100% color match as long as it was warmer than it was now, just because I couldn't unsee how blue these were. I tried out 2 different spray paint colors by Rust-Oleum. First one was called Chalked Linen White, and the second one was called XX Ultra Cover Flat White. In terms of color, they were actually very similar to each other, so I decided to try them both out on the first coat, and here's where I felt a massive difference. I found that the Ultra Cover Flat White was much more opaque and less streaky in the application, so I went ahead with that one and did 2 coats on either side of each shelf. I think all in all I used about 2 cans in total, and it took me about 2 days just to make sure that it dried on either side. In terms of assembly, these are very easy. You won't even need to have any tools at home. You just slide the smaller parts into the larger and then attach the legs with the screws that came together with the set. They even give you a small screwdriver, so even if you don't have one at home, you'll be able to put this together. I did encounter a bit of an issue with these shelves. I went by the depth stated on Amazon, but I think they stated the depth of the shelf part itself rather than the whole unit. And as the legs went all around the shelf, these ended up being just a few millimeters too deep. So I went online and reordered these in the next size down. If you look closely and see some weird cardboard bits underneath each leg, that was my temporary solution to give these shelves a bit more height until I got the size I needed. I just didn't want to delay filming this, but I have now got these in the right size and replaced these, and they fit just perfectly. Also, just a separate note from me, if I had my way, I'd love to place some of the containers sideways so that you could see the contents better, but I don't have enough space to do that, and I had to compromise a little in order to fit all of the items I had in these 2 cupboards. This cabinet is probably where I struggled the most before I organized and added the extra shelving in here, because pulling dishes out every day from underneath another pile of dishes might truly be one of the most annoying things to do. Again, in the ideal world, I'd have more cabinet space for dishes and glassware, so these 2 cabinets didn't have to be so cramped. But this is all the space we can allocate to these items, so adding the extra shelving made a huge difference in not only fitting more items in than before, but also making it actually easy to pull things in and out on a daily basis.